You have heard me talk about the fact that we are in a buyer's market. I actually think the buyer's market is getting stronger as rates go higher. You've heard me talk about disrespectful offers. You've heard me talk about follow up. I want to actually get into some details with a real estate professional, Omar Alfaro, and talk about the fact, is he seeing more inventory to buy? Is he and his team writing disrespectful offers? Omar, it is a buyer's market without question. Demand or supply is just sitting there. Lots of people are waiting for after the election. I'm curious, what are you doing in your business?
Yeah, what's up, Michael? Appreciate it. Every Tuesday we're talking about what's working in our business, what's working in yours, and good, bad, or indifferent in our industries. And right now, there's been like an uptick. I'm not going to say a small uptick either, with people that want their offers immediately. Maybe it's the
Interesting.
culmination of the interest rate, the quarter four, some houses that need a lot of repairs. Maybe it's our marketing and it's all hitting at the same time. Maybe it could be, the billboards that we have on the 15 freeway, which is phenomenal, that sell to Omar.com. And a lot of that's been like transpiring. A lot of new leads are coming in and personal stuff too. Like, hey, Omar, I got this person that wants to sell the house.
Mhm.
Perfect. All right, here you go. They're reaching out to me asking if we can buy their home, and other agents are as well. Got a deal this morning at like $70,000, less than what I was going to pay for it.
So let's put some numbers on that. Again, without context, 70 grand may be a lot or a little. 70K off of a 400K house, a
No,
700K house? What are we talking?
like a $250,000 house. Like
You
we're
got
buying this house.
30, folks, that's a disrespectful offer.
It's insane.
70% off. That's almost 30%.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that our resale is going to be about 415, 420, and we're picking it up like at 225.
Yeah.
It's retarded. And guess what? The median home price is 420. So
Yeah.
our exit is still under that amount, and we got
Yeah.
a ton of room to play with. And
So,
that's
so
that's just one.
yeah, let me play this out for you. Again, you run a professional office. You have lots of exits and entries into the real estate market. You are continuing to market. You're upping your game, doing billboards and mailers and all of those things. What I hear you saying is you are getting more motivated sellers.
Yes,
And that makes total sense, right? I have told everybody we are in a buyer's market. Demand is pulled back. And what happens is the motivated sellers start raising their hands,
correct.
looking for help. And that's exactly what's going on. They're raising their hands to the few active folks. So would you say that's what's happening?
That's 100% what's happening. It's insane. I think
So
more and more people are wanting to have they don't want the process to go through the market because they see
yeah, the market's tough, right? They don't
tough.
want open houses. They don't want their they want out. They have moved from a want to sell to a must sell, and
Correct.
they want the pain over quick. But
100.
here's the dangerous thing, because if you're not a professional in this business and you don't realize that this changed, you could simply overpay. You could be using Q2, Q3 ARVs, and you could overpay and you could buy too much inventory. One of the
Yes.
things that I've seen people do when they suddenly get the wind at their back is they buy too much, right? And they don't buy deep enough. And that could be a problem for Q1, Q2. You could go into the year with the wrong inventory at the wrong price.
Michael, we talked about this last year. We talked about the year before. This quarter four, it creates your momentum for the next year, right?
Or it sinks
Or,
you.
or it's, or I remember I was in that mix of like, damn, I have a
Yeah.
lot of freaking property, and it was just a weird transitional 4 or 5%, 3%, and then it jumped up to 6.5. And
Yeah.
remember, we walked through this process.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, this is insane. And I was always telling myself, nope, I'm not going to buy any more houses in quarter four. Not going to do it. I'm not going to, have a shitload of inventory
At the
in
wrong time.
quarter
Yeah.
one, right?
Well,
But
yeah, let me just paint you a scary picture because I am seriously, Omar, starting to think that 2025 mortgage rates are going to be higher than everybody thinks.
oh shit, so you're going the other way.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that
Huh.
were calling for mortgage rates to be in the mid fives. What I'm just telling you, what if we're 7? What if we're 7%
If we're
owner occupied?
7% next year, quarter one,
Yeah.
in all transparency, we're gonna be fucked.
The real estate market is, and this is the important thing. Again, folks, I have a spreadsheet on my website. It is free, called the 54-year spreadsheet. Go back and look at 1978 to 1982. Existing home sales fell 50%.
There's okay. So if we're falling 50% of home sales in quarter one of 2025,
I mean, think about 2025 being, so again, it's 50% from the peak. So 1978, I'm
okay,
going to round the numbers. Go get the spreadsheet yourself. You
okay,
did 4 million.
okay,
1982, you did 2 million. Real estate transactions take a while to just fall because what happens is all of the want to sellers disappear and all you're left is the must sell,
must sell, right?
right? So you cut in half. So we did about 6.2 million existing home sales, I think in 2021 or 2022. I just want to add, and right now we're doing about 3.9 million. I just want to put out there that what happens if we only do 3.4 or 3.3 million existing home sales in all of 2025?
If that happens, that means the small little markets like ours, or the other markets that are getting $100,000 price reductions, to meet the buyers, the buyer demands, it's going to slow down a lot. And going into it, well, I mean, obviously this is I'm not going to say it's a crapshoot, kind of is, but if you got some inventory, which I'm looking at my inventory board right here, and I
Yep.
don't know if you guys can see it, but
Yep.
that's some of my
You got,
inventory
I don't
board.
know, 8 or 9 listings there. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them are still in rehab, and some of them are in escrow to purchase. So it's like, well, it's. But the good thing is, they're under their median home price, all of them.
Yeah. Don't you dare buy a
Oh,
luxury home.
uh-uh.
No, don't play there.
No.
Because again, if we're in an environment where rates are 7%, luxury housing is going to get smashed.
That's the best time. Literally, I'm thinking about this, and I'm going to walk you through this really quick because this is a great topic. If inventory is going to increase and the demand for purchases are going to go down a little bit because of interest rates, or maybe it stays the way it is, right? And the luxury side is going to take a hit. Well,
Smashed.
now I'm also selling a couple of the units. I'm not doing a 1031. I'm hemming and hawing, figuring out what do I do. Do I take the freaking badass capital and then pick and choose what I'm going to be buying at a larger scale, and then that'll catapult me for this next 12 months, right? Futuristically, future growth,
Yeah.
and double or triple that number versus 1031 exchanging it, putting it in something else. I'm thinking about, we talked about this before, the dry powder. Going into this
Yeah.
shitload of dry powder.
Yeah. Again, that's where my head goes
Okay.
is how do we get more dry powder? Because
Hmm.
in an environment with higher, and again, I'm just playing a what if game, right?
Right.
For all I know, rates could be 5.5 and it's a different story. The real estate market in 2025 at 5.5 versus 7, completely different market.
Right.
Completely different. I'm just playing, let's have a discussion about 7%. And again, luxury gets smashed. Anything with variable rate debt like commercial gets smashed. And, even at 7%, what stays solid? Entry level housing. We just don't have any. We just don't have any.
Nope, we don't.
Right. So the other thing is, again, you and I as investors don't care about the cost of capital. As long as the cost of capital is equal for everyone, we simply don't care.
No.
We're just going to buy deeper.
Not at all.
We're going to go find those motivated sellers who call off the freeways billboard sign, and we're going to offer 70, 80, 90, $100,000 less. And if they're in a situation where they've got to sell, they might take it. That's the game. That's the game. That's the game. If rates are 7% next year, if the rates are 5.5%, you're actually going to have a completely different market, because at 5.5%, you're going to get some move up buyers.
A lot of them.
Yeah, certainly. You're going to have a lot more move up buyers at 5.5% than 7%. There's not many move up buyers at 7%. They're going to say, screw it, I'm going to go buy bunk beds. We're staying put another year.
Yeah.
But at 5.5%, you're going to get some move up buyers. And that's why rates are so important. The 30-year mortgage is important because the real estate market, in fact, the real estate industry is different. At 7%, it's a depression. At 5.5%, it's expansion. Right? At 5.5%, we could do like 4.2, 4.3 million sales. At 7%, we're talking 3.5, 3.4 million sales. It's a vastly different game.
That's a huge difference. And knowing that, going into it, it's like, okay, what are we doing? How are we going to prepare ourselves? Like, are we going to be in a offensive mode, or are we going to be in a defensive mode? Like, this is the part where.
The next 6 weeks are so important, Omar. I wouldn't be placing any bets. Let's get past the election. Let's see all that nonsense. Let's get a president declared. And I think if we remove that one gigantic uncertainty, I think the chessboard gets clearer. Doesn't get clear, but it's clearer. So we're only 3 or 4 weeks away from, 2, 3, 4 weeks away from knowing. And I would not be putting any bets until this election's over.
No bets, meaning like no big moves.
Yeah, no big moves. Yeah,
small little guys.
Yeah,
I mean, because you got to remember, and I guess it's different. I mean, and I could be discussing it with somebody that's flipping an OC, where I'm looking at deals and it's like, and I wholesaled a couple transactions to big flippers in Orange County. We made a great rip on. They're making phenomenal money.
I would not take on an OC flip right now.
It's what's funny? Like, and I was thinking about this. And I was like, I'm gonna talk to Michael tomorrow, because yesterday I spoke to the guy who flipped the property. Right, big freaking company. I mean, just a guy that's buying a bunch of houses. Anyways, Huntington Beach, 5 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. I wholesaled it to him. Okay, I know the property. He ended up putting on the market for 149. Right, he bought it for $1.1 million. Okay, and he's now in escrow for 155. 1.55. He only has less than $200K in it, so he's making $250,000 of a profit. Good for him, right? But then I'm seeing it. It's like, wow. Like, okay, so maybe the market in OC is a different animal. I don't know.
Again, this is what you'll know. You'll know this by next summer, right? You've been in OC for a second.
True. True.
Let's get some leg, because for all this deal blows up and it's back on the market, right? We don't know. It's not close.
Yeah. Trust me. I'm playing devil's advocate too on like.
Oh yeah, I get you. Again, you're in learning mode for OC right now. Take the rip. Take the whatever you made. Go get another one.
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, by next summer, I think you probably have a different strategy.
Yeah, and obviously you want to work smart, not hard. Obviously, do 2 or 3 flips versus 50.
Yeah, let's not do that.
That so brain capacity, right? And it's just like, but it's the bread and butter. But to segue into this change the next 6 weeks. I mean, for everybody that's listening. Like, if you're not ready and you're not prepared, you don't have your team, you don't have any of this stuff. Like, if you're not ready to truly have that exit, under the median home price or roundabout, like, I'd say no. Like, don't do it unless you have a full crew. Like, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
So,
and again, if I'm buying stuff, I'd be buying deeper. Like you just said earlier, I'd be buying deeper and cheaper, which is all good.
Deeper and cheaper, baby.
There you go. Well, Omar, you put out a lot of amazing stuff. How can people follow you?
Guys, follow me on Instagram at Invest with Omar, or my YouTube at Omar Alfaro.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.